and it's full of emotions. It's full of sadness, excitement, a whole lot of different things. But
And so therefore you kind of played the two up against each other to see in which direction you would go.
I was brought up in a family where my dad always told me that as long as you can use your hands, you can make money. So
Omni Sport Africa, the ultimate African sports audio channel. On your phone. On your phone. Data free on the MTN network in South Africa. T's and C's apply at Omni Sport Africa on social and online at omniaudio.africa.
So it's another edition of Real, Raw and Relatable with me, Romy Titus. And today's guest is Bryce Moon, a name synonymous in the football circles. You might know his brother, who still is in the PSL. And he has long, I don't actually know if he's retired officially, but has become a really successful businessman. Bryce, thank you so much for your time and for spending it with me.
hi Romy, thank you for having me.
Good to have you. Have you officially retired?
Well, yeah, I've officially retired. I didn't make any announcements, but yeah, I'm officially retired and enjoying semi-retirement, should I say.
But why? Why not the retirement? Why not the announcement that, look, I am officially letting go of my first love, which is football?
Well, I think the transition just happened unexpectedly, and I started business so quickly after I decided, so I didn't have the time to do all of that. But maybe I still can do it. Maybe there's still some time for that. Just to let all the fans that actually followed me, just to let them know where I'm at and what's happening.
Why not though? I think I've spoken to so many retired footballers and none of them have officially said, look, I've officially said thank you and goodbye to the game. Is it a hard decision to make? Because in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, I still got it. I can still come back. I still want to play if it happens, as opposed to officially bowing out.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard decision to make because even if you still got it in you or you still can play, you still have to make that decision, and it's full of emotions. It's full of sadness, excitement, a whole lot of different things. But yeah, I think the main thing was that with me, it just happened too quickly where I just made that decision and business caught me and I was just full time into it. So I still have other plans. Maybe I'll still do something in terms of officially announcing it and having something. But yeah, I just haven't at the time. It's a completely different ball game in business. So, but I'm enjoying it.
I take it business is going well. Let's just say, touch wood, business didn't go well, right? And it didn't digest you the way that it is because your business is doing very well. Um, is it like if I fail at this, I can always go back to football? And so therefore you kind of played the two up against each other to see in which direction you would go?
Well, not necessarily, because I was brought up in a family where my dad always told me that as long as you can use your hands, you can make money. So I'm not lazy. I know how to use my hands. I've got a business mind. So I wasn't fearful in terms of if this business didn't work out. If this business didn't work out, I would have tried something else. But luckily and fortunately for me, I was in a position when I retired that maybe financially I could take those chances or I could give myself. I wasn't under pressure where it's like I retired today and tomorrow I got no more money. I need to survive, so I'm stressed out. So it wasn't a stressed out decision. It was a decision where I had a bit of leeway and it was lucky for me.
What do you attribute that to? Because I know that the narrative these days is okay, so footballers live a lavish life, they earn the big bucks, yet, by the time retirement comes, gone are the big bucks, the flashy cars, the girls, the everything. So, how is it that you maintained
Yeah.
that wealth, that you grew that wealth, so that you're here today being able to pivot off of that wealth, which I don't think many a footballer has managed.
Yeah, sorry you broke up there a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely good planning and always having that that inside of you that you're always willing to learn. You know, you we had so many people, brokers, financial advisors coming to speak to us and advising us of how to use our money, you know, the pros and cons, how to invest, what to do. There were so many different options open for us to explore. And obviously you just have to plan well and also make the right investments. But there's so much, I mean, players are earning really good money. Also back then when I was playing, the money was really good. So I mean, there's no reason why you cannot plan or cannot save or cannot invest. And yes, a lot of players lack the education of that, but I think it's also the players a bit to blame because the clubs and the associations do put these things before us. They do bring the advisors there, they do bring the brokers, they do give us that opportunity to listen and make a decision of what you want to invest in, how you want to invest.
But Bryce,
And
don't you
I
think
think
it's like education also, though? Isn't it a yes, and the broker's here, but if I do not understand what a broker does, if I do not understand investment, you know, whereas I think, like you said, you're fortunate to come from the background that you do, where I guess your parents or your dad uh, has taught you certain skills, certain values. Like you said, if you have hands, I mean, how can you not make money if it is that you can use that commodity? So, is it not
yeah,
really a lack of education and understanding where the club should maybe go one step back? It's not just about bringing the broker. I think the education starts even before the broker arrives. And lucky you, you grasp that concept. But what about the player who doesn't come from your background, who doesn't have the upbringing or the understanding, and maybe that's where the lack comes in.
100% correct, Romy. Um, like I say, they were there, the brokers were there, but and that's also something that I want to do in the future. Um, in within sport is go around and advising players about business, about investing for your future, and also about life in general, you know, different things, because there's so many things. It's not only about investing, it's just so many things that these players come up against, and they don't know how to deal with it. I mean, just having all this money for one, besides investing the money, I've come from nothing, and now all of a sudden I'm earning 100,000 rand. So that, yes, is definitely a big role where the education is not there for the people. But like I say, if you always have that spirit as a player, willing to learn, willing to listen, then you the broker's there, he speaks, and then you ask more questions, you find out more. I mean, I had friends with me, and we came out of those broker sessions, and he's like, me, bitch, give him 20,000 rand a month. And they're like, I can't give this man 20,000 rand a month. I don't know where it's going. And I tried to explain to them, like, firstly, you earning 200,000 rand a month. Why can't you give 20,000 rand to your future?
Mm.
So it is definitely an educational thing where they do need to, you know, be pressed harder on, and maybe not just hear it from the brokers, but also hear it from friends, team managers, the CEOs, those kind of people that you can relate with and explain to them. The clubs definitely need to spend more time in doing that for the players.
But is it this the club's responsibility also at the end of the day? Because whose responsibility is it? Club wants to dominate the let's take Sundowns, for example. We all know it's big money spenders there. I'm sure if you just looked at the parking lot, for example. Um, the club is the onus on the club though, because the club has its own mandate, right? You've got to get the best players. What they do, they spend big money to get the players that they do. Then it's about dominating on the continent, it's about winning the league, it's about winning cups. I mean, if I were a club owner, I would sit back and go, is this really my responsibility to teach these men and women how to save money? It isn't.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, partially yes, but what my opinion on that, Romy, is that um, and this opinion comes from playing at Ajax Cape Town when I was a junior. The more passionate people we get in sport, um, the more interest there is in the players and the teams being concerned about the complete player, because you remember all these side things do play have an effect on your performance. So if you know that your mind is telling you you're investing well, you're doing all these things, you're eating well, and all these things are advised by people within the club. So yeah, in the totality, when you look at it, yes, it is the responsibility, because you get a better player, you get a better person. I read something about Jose Mourinho, and he says before he signs players, he finds out if this is a good person before even the player. So it's definitely, I think the clubs should spend more time in advising the players and doing that, because it makes you a complete person and a complete player, where you actually can perform better, because you end
Mm,
up having players that spend their money on everything, and they don't have money to pay even their debitors at the end of the month, so that affects them. So if you can avoid that, then you're getting a complete player, and I guarantee you'll get more out of the players.
makes sense. Would you change
Yeah.
something like that? I mean, I guess you've got the power to change something like that, having been, I guess you understand better. You're a player, you've been a player at many clubs, not only in SA, but abroad as well. How would you change that if it is something that is at the back of your mind to integrate, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, Romy, because now football has also become a lot business orientated, a lot more. I wouldn't say it wasn't back then, but it's a lot more business orientated. We have a shortage of passionate business administrators in South Africa, where people are actually passionate to do what they're doing and not just in it for the money or for whatever else comes with that. But I can assure you, yes, I would. That's like I say, my plan is to try and change that. That even if I change, 10% or 5%, it makes a big difference. But yeah, we have to do something in terms of those fields where we need to educate the players. We need to get more passionate people, where we're building complete players. And it was evident on the football field, where when we were playing, you could see we were Mushin Integral's young chickens, but we were playing against senior players and dealing with them.
You said passion. I mean, you've used the word passion quite a few times now. From the outside looking in at the moment at football, what has it become? What has the beast become that it perhaps wasn't when you were a player? Is it prettier? Is it uglier? Is it hungrier? Is it greedier? What is this beast called football when you look at it?
Yeah, so and I won't say football, because some and it's also in other countries, not only in South Africa. Football has become a business. Football has become a status thing. So all these businessmen or politicians with lots of money, the next best thing, they've got Rolls Royce, they've got best houses, they've got businesses, they've got everything. So the next best thing is to buy a soccer club, and that's it's become a status thing as well. So I'm and unfortunately, when you do it in that way, I haven't seen any of the teams that have done it that way. I haven't seen them progress or successful or what. They've always come up against problems, because you don't have the passion, because when you buy a football, you need to know who you're hiring to run the club. That person needs to be passionate. That person needs to care about the players, the staff. I mean, if I'll make an example of Sundowns. I mean, Patrice Mutsepe, when he comes to the training field, every single staff member, from the groundsman to the cook in the kitchen, They feel like they are important to the club. They feel like I mean, the one day he came in and he said, without the chef cooking that healthy, good meal, you guys would never be playing this well. And the chef, obviously appreciated it and gave their best after that. You know,
Mm,
so those small things make a big difference, not only in a football player, because it's an organization and it's got each different department. So, and as a club owner, you need to work on each department. You have to. It's not just child's play where you decide, okay, I'm buying a football club for status and I'm gonna run it. So
I guess a Royal AM comes to mind, right? Because for the first time ever in footballing history, do we watch, wait, see, and I don't even think the mother body, the PSL itself, knew what to do when they ran into the trouble that they did with Royal AM. I guess they know better now, but you mentioned that status thing, and I can't help but link it, where I still think she's a woman and she had a really great idea. It might not have gone the way that she wanted it to, but I can't help but liken status to it. It says like, so look what I'm going to do. I've got the money. I'm going to do it. But it's not just about the money now, today. It's about the longevity of being able to keep this thing together.
100%, and that's a typical example of somebody that went into football, not knowing the pros and cons, not knowing the entire thing. I mean, you've get Chiklas and all these people that they were in football all their lives, and you can't spend so much money and expect now to start learning the pros and cons. I can understand if you've got someone next to you that's good, that's been in the industry for forever, and you've got good backing, you've got good organization, all these different things, and then yes, you can go ahead and do that there. But like I say, it was a total waste. It was a little bit of an embarrassment to South African football. And I agree with you. PSL, SAFA, they didn't know what to do themselves. That's why the deal went on so long. And yeah, they made a decision. And now I hope this is a lesson learned for other investors and other businessmen who want to start doing this here, because yeah, you have to start at the bottom, grassroots, and have a proper organization. That's also something we lack in our country, Romy, is that our structure and our organization, it's just not in point.
Yeah. Excuse me. Bryce, so owning a club, I mean, is that kind of on your list of things to do as a successful business person? And I mean, who better, especially in the KZN area?
Yeah, well, definitely it was, and still is.
Was or is?
It still is. It still is. So yeah, after the offer with Maritzburg United fell through, I took a step back and I thought about it a bit more. And yeah, now I'm a bit in a process of deciding if I want to start in the Mvela or Motsepe League, or I want to go straight to PSL, or I want to start in a lower division and build an academy before I get to the PSL. And I think I would be more passionate about building a little academy and getting that academy to eventually get promoted. And it gives you the time. It's so much less money because I don't have to now splash out money to pay big salaries. I'm looking for players that are passionate, that want a future in football. And yeah, just try and give them the opportunity, because another thing we lack in South Africa is that I don't want to be sounding like I've given up on our footballing industry, because there are people that can change this. We do have a lot of stalwarts in football in South Africa that can make a difference and can change this perception or concept of our
Yeah,
football in
yeah.
South Africa. There definitely is, and we've got it in us. I mean, look at Bafana. They're doing well now. So that says something. We just a little, we're a few things short of progressing, and we need to fix the development structures in our country if we want to progress, because we can't have players at 25 playing their first game in the PSL. It can't be. Should never be that. And back in the day, we had all these different development tournaments: Simba under 12, Transnet under 14, Coca Cola under 17. We had all these tournaments where the kids from all over the country had the opportunity to have a chance to get selected for the national teams, to go to interprovincial tournaments. I mean, even if you weren't good enough for South Africa, you were good enough for your province, and then you went to interprovincial tournament and had the opportunity to play for your country. Now it's just a small selection from a few of the big clubs and maybe one or two academies that are lurking around South Africa. There's so much more talent in the corners of South Africa, and that's something the School of Excellence did really, really well at finding potential and scouting. They went to every single province every year to look for talent. And I mean, they took 3 or 4 players from each province every year. And I mean, the School of Excellence speaks for itself of how many players it produced, how many successful players it produced. And we definitely need to fix a few things.
I like it. I guess it's the vision that you see based on being in the structure, being out, and then I guess kind of realizing what is broken and what it is that you can fix. I love that you've always had, I guess, a soft spot for the youth and building that, and the academy sounds great. Are you vacillating between perhaps having that and that becomes the feeder for your PSL team? Like, where are you with your thoughts around this?
So, like I say, definitely I want to and I will get involved in owning my own team one of these days, maybe in the near future.
How many?
Um, but but yes, I want to. I think I've decided now. I've made up my mind that I'm going to buy a smaller team within maybe the Vodacom league or a division even lower to give the youngsters an opportunity. So I have to build this team. I have to build this academy before we start challenging for anything. I'm just going to be down there doing all the prep work, building the academy, getting everything in order, and then when I can see we're ready. But obviously it's giving you time while you're preparing. You're playing in a
Mm,
league, in a
mm.
local league. You get promotion, you keep trying again, you get promotion, and then eventually you look, you see you playing to get in the first division and then the PSL. I mean, look at Chipper United. Took them 3 years, one, and they were up in the PSL. So you need that. I don't know if that was luck or it was
Look, I think they're
their.
also finishing. Well, they're a few points away from finishing in the top eight for only the second time.
Look at that. So that's why I say, as long as your structure's right, and even if I don't get to the PSL, Romy, I've achieved what I want. Is where I give the players an opportunity. This is not about money for me. This is not about fame or a status thing. My passion is to give the players the opportunity I had, because I see so many youngsters. I go around speaking to schools, I go around to rural teams, and I see these kids just want to play football, but they don't have the
Mm.
opportunity. They don't have the people behind them saying, "Listen, you can do it."
Yeah,
So they're just playing socially in their rural areas and with no goals, with no drive to say, listen, I
guidance.
can
Yeah,
play. Yes. So we need that in the country. And as long as I get that, I'm already happy, because if I allow 2 or 3 players the opportunity once or twice a year to go and on trial at Sundown, Supersport, any PSL team for that matter, maybe, and even overseas, because I've got those links, and it won't be difficult to send the videos and send a player on trial. I mean, that's my main thing. Get a player a trial where he can just show his talent, and if he's good, he's good. They're gonna take him. Uh,
yeah.
so that's my
I guess
main
the
thing.
rest
It's
is
just
really up to the player, right? Because it is your football that will do the talking
exactly, you
in
can't
terms
do
of your
much.
value.
But give them the opportunity, and once they've got that opportunity, it's up to them. And like I say, I'm confident. There's so much good talent out there,
Mm,
and it's
mm.
going to waste because our development structure in South Africa is deteriorated.
Have you thought of, I mean, tell me about your business first. I mean, BDM decor and design, what exactly you do, how it is, I guess, that you infiltrated the market. in your hometown? And are you keen on bringing other footballers closer? Because everybody looks and says, okay, so Bryce is doing well. How? You know, I also want to do that. I also need to prepare. I also want to be a businessman. Um, I think it's really family influenced, but do share, do share.
Yeah, so BDM Deco and Design. Firstly, the name is obviously Bryce Darren Moon. That's where the BDM comes from. The Deco and Design is because we do home renovations. We specialize in kitchens and bedrooms and built-in cupboards, shop fitting. But as the years went on within business, I was forced to expand to complete home decor and home renovations and minor construction because people requested it of me. And I started off obviously because my dad many years ago when he had a business like this. I used to work with him. I learned that. And when I retired, I was thinking, what should I do? And then I thought, okay, let me just open up a small business where I will do these kitchens and bedrooms. And because like I say, I was pretty comfortable financially. So I didn't have that pressure. So I said, let me just start this up to keep me busy. And then it just started booming where my quality of work was good, my quality of service, which is very important, was good, and business just started growing and growing. And then I have my own showroom. I have two showrooms, and then after 3 years of having BDM Deco and Design, I opened up KZN Boards Midlands, where it's a company that also does the similar. It's within the same industry, but on that end, we supply cut and edge. So people who I do, carpenters that do kitchen cupboards and bedroom cupboards, they go to my KZN Boards factory where they will order their materials that they need. We'll cut it up for them and supply them with their materials to do their own cabinetry or do whatever jobs they have. But yeah, I'd like to obviously offer anyone the opportunity. And another reason why I came into business too, and why I'm so passionate about the sport is just I really, really want to give back. And this is something that I actually took from Patrice Motsepe, is that he he always wants to give people an opportunity firstly, and he wants to pay those people that what nobody else can pay them. So they feel valued, they feel like they have a future. And that is my dream, even within my business. And I'm already on par of achieving that because some of my workers have tried to leave and they realize firstly that the grass is not green on the other side. And
Yeah.
secondly, the perks they have at BDM Deco and Design and KZN Boards Midlands, they can't get anywhere else. And thirdly, the money that they could get, their total packages that we give them, they couldn't get it anywhere else. I mean, I had guys coming to me and say, you know what, Bryce, please can I get an increase? So I'm like, okay, no problem. If you go anywhere in Pietermaritzburg and find somebody that's doing your job, earning more than you, I promise you I'll pay you what they're earning.
Hmm.
And it literally, Romy, took them 6 months to come back to me with another guy, an old guy that's about 50 something. So he's obviously working for the company. He's got work experience of 30, 40 years. He's got his trade papers. This is another important thing in my industry is that everybody decides they want to be carpenters and they think they can make up cupboards that they are carpenter. Back in the day, you needed your trade test. You need to have trade papers to do these things.
Yeah.
And that also is a big role with your salary. So if you're not a qualified carpenter, you won't get a qualified carpenter's rate. And they brought a qualified carpenter's rate, and I was still paying them not much less. And so I said to them, I'm going to stick to what I said, and I'm going to pay you
Mhm.
what that guy is paying you. However, this company, you get picked up by your door every day. My vans pick up my staff by their houses. So from tomorrow, you find your own way to work. So the money
Mm.
that he pays to go transport to work, you don't pay it. So you pick, and when you get to work, you clock your card. When you get to work, 20 minutes late, I don't have a problem with it. I allow you to be a few minutes late. But today you'll clock your card from today. And yes, I'm actually going to pay you more than what he's getting, not just that. And the guy said, you know what, please, I'd rather just keep my salary where it is. I'm okay. He realized that, he was getting more out of the perks of the company rather than getting that little bit more, few rands and cents.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so that's where business is, and that's how it
What is
is.
harder? What's harder, being a footballer or being a businessman?
Being a businessman, definitely, because football is a dream, Romy. I promise you. If I wish I could I wish the people could. I could obviously tell people, but you don't understand it till you're playing it and you're living that life. I mean, I was sitting. That's the thing that I miss most is being on the field, doing something that you're passionate about, that you love, and getting so much money for it. I mean, there's no other better job in the
And
world.
everything is done for you guys. Hey, if you think about it,
Everything is
you go, you
done for
play
you.
the sport that you want. Everything else is done. The food is there. Please just eat it. Your visas are done. Here's your passport. Oh, you didn't sleep well. There's a doctor. Oh, you need a massage. Here you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely
Doesn't get
think the
easier
harder
than
job is the one that you have now.
yeah.
Um, would you ever? I mean, I know there's aspirations to own a club and an academy, but would you ever, if the opportunity knocked, go back and play?
Well, I don't think I would go back and play because the reason I retired was not because I was injured or whatever the case may be. I retired because I saw that the passion was deteriorating, and it's difficult as a sportsman to go to work or go to training and everybody else around you or a few people around you are not passionate and they're not things. There's just politics in
Was it
football.
a,
It's
yeah, I was going to say, is it a lack of passion or politics? Because, I mean, understanding the game the way you do, and I mean, wasn't it Pizzo and yourself who had a run in with each other as players and coaches would? Was it more the politics that deterred you? And then it was also the buying over of like an Aces that became another club, and you happened to be in the midst of all of that. And when you say the passion deteriorates, is it really because of the politics that come with it that you felt affected by?
so the two are linked in my opinion, Romy. So your decisions about whatever you do is linked to your passion. So if I'm passionate, I'm more sympathetic. I'm in decisions. I'm more. Um, I think of their families. I think of everything before I make a footballing decision. If you're not passionate, you make a business decision. You say, "Listen, yeah, you're not doing it for me. You can go." Or if you're a little bit more sympathetic, you say, "Okay, listen, yeah, your contract's not up. The coach doesn't want you in the team, and let's see how we can get you a loan. Let's see what we can do." But at the moment, they don't care about those type of things. They just tell the player, "Listen, go play on the other field," or "Listen, we're not paying you this month." Those kind of things. So I always, like I say, it's linked. With me, it was definitely not any coach, like you say. Yes, Pizza and I had a little run in, but that's run-ins. I had that with Mushin. I had that with every coach. Where and those the reasons why we had those run-ins was because it was passionate people. I was passionate. He was passionate, and we were fighting for the same goal, but I'm just trying to explain myself, and he's trying to you understand what I mean. It wasn't a fight where I'm the boss and you this and you that. No, Pizzo, Mushin, all these guys, they are extremely passionate. I mean, Pizzo sits till 2, 3 hours, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we sit in video analysis. We sit, he drums it into you. So he's somebody that's really passionate, and that's why he's successful. You understand? So I definitely link the two. It's not just one without the other. It's linked. So the politics in sport derive from people not being passionate.
I get it. I get it. How is Ryan? He's still in football. I mean, do you become the mentor now? And then maybe just a bit of background as to how it is that all of you have this football gene.
Yeah, yeah, he's still in football, and he's like I say, he loves the game. He's playing professional. He wants to go overseas again. He wants to grow. He's still young, so he's still got some time. Yeah, I'm definitely the mentor. I've got, he always says I'm his hero. So yeah, definitely mentor him. And it gets sometimes like Romy, it gets so tiring that you encouraging someone and you there's politics here, politics there, and they ask you certain questions like, Bryce, I scored 2 goals last week. How is it possible that I'm on the bench this week or out of the team totally? And I'm like, okay, that's football. I should have a better explanation than that's football. I should. I mean, the coaches should have a better explanation. Your team won. The players scored 2 goals. I mean, Ryan left Kaiser Chiefs being the top goal scorer at the club. How do you explain that to me? As a sporting director or sporting industry, the I mean, some coaches are given too much control and too much leeway. Where, like I say, he was at Kaiser Chiefs. He left Kaiser Chiefs being the top goal scorer at the club at the time. And how does this player become redundant? How do you
Yeah,
not need this
yeah.
player anymore? He scored the most goals in your club. How do you not need him?
Sorry. So, what do you arrive at? If it is that you cannot give him an answer other than this is football, what do you arrive at? Because it makes no sense. How does a top goal scorer from a team leave a team? Because what do you need? You need strikers, right? You need top goal scorers, but you let this one go. How do you make sense of that, Bryce? I mean, how do you answer other than this is football and you're the big brother, right? You're the hero.
So, firstly, my first response is that I we have a good faith in our family. So my thing is, and I also went through these similar battles throughout my career, and he relates to some of them because of that. It doesn't make it easier for him, but
Mm,
he can relate at least. So he knows, I remember when you went through this price. I remember what you done. I remember how difficult it was for you. So that relating with that gives you that little bit of hope, gives you that little bit of confidence that okay, things will change. Because you go through something on one side and next week you're signing with Sundowns, and then
mm,
you go to this, and then next week you're signing with Panathinaikos, and then so that's just how football is. So firstly, I tell him that God has given him this gift, which he needs to use, and he needs to do it the best of his ability for God, not for himself, because that's how I lived my life, and that's how
mm.
I got those challenging times. Is that I am not here for Patrice Motsepe. I'm not here for Super Sport. I'm here because God placed me here for His reasons. And that's how I lived my life. Believing that I'm here because of what God wants out of my life. And God wants me to. So if it means me being here, going through this, it's maybe to change somebody else, maybe to save a soul, maybe to do something. But this is God's plan, and this is where I'm going to be. And God will to get me through this. And it worked for me. And yeah, I was successful, and I retired stable. So it paid off, honoring God really, really paid off in my life, not just in my footballing career, but in my life. So yeah, like back to what you asked, is that Ryan is definitely, he got the opportunity to relate. Again, I'll reiterate that it doesn't make it easier. It's very difficult, and also the younger generation of today, Romy, are not as strong as we were.
Mm, mm.
They're not as strong as we were. So that's why they're crumbling easier. Back in the day,
Yeah, they
we
don't
could
make
fight
them. Yeah, they don't make them the way they used to.
them the way they used to. So that's also another thing that plays a big role, And the generation of today need to be spoon fed. They need to be guided. They need to be helped along the way. And
But don't you just also want to say to Ryan, come help me at BDN? Like, let it go. Like, just forget everything. Because I'm sure that you see what you see. And I'm sure that there's so much that you want to say that you don't. Why? Because he's your brother and you want to protect him. But I mean, isn't there also just one day where you're just like, you know what? Screw it, let's do it. Let's build BDM. We can add an R in there if you really want, and just leave football.
Yeah. So Ryan and I do have business interests together already. So
Nice.
we do have some business that we are working on together. It's running itself. We've got another big business that we are hopefully going to launch in the next year, where that business is something that will run itself. It will work. So yeah, if he does get to, I don't want to be the one to say, listen, yeah, leave, because I mean that's how football is. He can still play, even if he's not in a position where he can financially survive tomorrow. If he ends his career tomorrow, he's got us, he's got me, he's got family, and that's the most important thing, is that money is not everything, Romy. So people and players need to understand that money is not everything. So if you don't have money, you need to just go and work, go and find a job, anything, until you get back onto your feet. Business can fail, football can fail, anything in life can fail, investments can fail. That's not the end of the world. You have to dust yourself off, get up, and try something else. So money should never be the always the first decision maker in anything you go into. So I will never let Ryan retire at this time, because I still believe that he's got a bright future. I still believe he'll play overseas one day. I still believe he got a lot to give in the PSL as well, and he will do that there. So I'm not at a point where I will advise him to retire right now, because it's not a monetary decision. It's something that he needs to grind through. It's something that will even help him in business, like with me in business. My attitude in football, you still see it in my business, because I'm passionate. When the guys are not there, I know how to do what they're doing. So, and that also helps. You go into something because that's what helps me in my business, is that you go into something, you don't know nothing about it. Your business is dependent on your workers. If they don't come to work, you don't know how to operate a machine. Not in my business. My business, you don't come to work, my business still goes on. So that's the important thing in life. So yeah, he must enjoy his career. I'll continue supporting him. I'll continue trying to give him the opportunity to play overseas, to play at a better club in South Africa, to go wherever he's comfortable at Arrows. Just short of a little bit more game time. But yeah, hopefully that will come soon, and hopefully he can get to where he belongs, get to where, I mean, Ryan, it's so hard when I'm speaking to him, because he's very similar to me, and he's so passionate, and he's like, but Bryce, I just want to play, and I feel like I deserve to play. And sometimes it's just in and out, and I told him, I said, it's different coaches, it's different staff, it's different administration right now, so you just have to adapt. It's very important to adapt in life to your situation.
Yeah,
Don't let
yeah.
it don't let it sit on top of you. You just got to find yourself in the situation, adapt. What's the best way to handle the situation, and move forward? So yeah, he's just got to work with what he has at the moment, and keep pushing on, because he's still got a lot ahead of him.
I don't think you answered that question as to the football bug, and how is it that it found its way into the Moon family, seeing that you're all are footballers pretty much.
Yeah, well, my dad played football back in the day, and I think it wasn't just a footballing thing; it was a sporting thing. Um, where my mom played Natal hockey. She played for South Africa as well, hockey. So my dad played professional soccer as well in the NSL, or whatever it was called then. So it was a sporting gene within our family. And our parents offered us the opportunity to play every sport. We went to school, we played every sport, we excelled at everyone, and we were obviously falling towards soccer because of dad. And yeah, it was just the best sport at the time, still is one of the best
Yeah,
sports in
shame,
the
and it's
world.
all boys, right? What's four
Yeah,
boys? Oh, your
So
poor mom.
I think it was the genes in within us, and yeah, my mom loved soccer as well. So it didn't make it difficult for us because she also supported us. She loved soccer, so she was happy, and I think that's where it came from.
Your favorite moment as a footballer, whether it for club or country.
It's such a difficult question, Rom, because I was even sitting the other day and well, I do it all the time. I sit and I think back of my career and I think of a time when I was in Rustenburg, or I think of a time when I was in Greece, and there was so many favorite moments, and it's so hard to choose one. Um, yeah,
Two if you
I
want.
think if I had to choose one, okay, can you give me two at least?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, it would be my debut for Bafana Bafana, representing my national team. That would be one of my biggest in I think, and also playing in the quarterfinals of the Champions League in Greece against Inter Milan. That was also a really big thing for me, playing in the Champions League, being able to play at the highest level in football. Yeah, those would be the
Your
two best.
your best lesson that football has taught you. Life lesson.
Biggest life lesson. Um, Let me think. My biggest life lesson would be to never give up, work hard, and be determined and in whatever you do, and you will achieve your goals.
Please explain your nickname.
Snake Alicia. So this nickname, I got it at the School of Excellence. Obviously, it was a boarding school. It was a soccer school. That's all we did: eat, sleep, drink, soccer. So we had enough. We had school on the premises, soccer on the premises, and my homework, my assignments, I had enough time to do them because there was nothing else to do. And a lot of
Mhm.
the other guys just were not interested in the school. They just like, we'll pass. We just need 40%, 50%, and we'll pass. They weren't interested. But like for me, it was like there's nothing else to do here. So you might as well do your assignment, do your work, listen to what the coaches and the teachers they ask you to do that, do that. So it's actually the nickname was Snege, and it was given to me by another guy, one of the players they called Jury, where it means a person that does everything correct and the right way and to the point, and a
Yeah.
cautious, patient person. So that's where the nickname came from, and then obviously it stuck throughout my School of Excellence time. I left School of Excellence to go to Ajax Cape Town, and then quite a few players from the school were at Ajax, so it just continued, and then it just never left me. It just stuck from there.
Snaggalicious. I like it. And finally, the funniest locker room moment, change room moment.
um, there's been so many. Let me just try and think of one. Um, I think just dumping the player in a bucket of ice. Coming from behind, the guys come with a whole bucket of ice, and the player's not looking, and we just dump him with the ice on top of him.
Doesn't sound good. Was that you
Uh,
doing it or you receiving?
well, I was part of giving it, not
Mm.
receiving it.
No one got you back. Bryce, thank you
Yeah,
so much. Thank you for going down
no,
memory lane with me, for chatting with me, for the successes of your business, which I hope other players, are able to pivot off of, for being a beacon, I guess, to your brother, that he has a role model, and perhaps, you didn't have as solid a one as he has with you now. And good luck for all the future endeavors. The
thank you
minute you
so
buy
much.
that PSL
Yeah,
team, let me know.
I will definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. See you. Keep well. Cheers.
You too.